All right, guys, how we doing? Welcome into our live, quite literal live reaction of the Baltimore Ravens 53-man roster because I have not even gotten a chance to look at this yet. I have literally uh, taken a screenshot of the picture on X from the Baltimore Ravens, not even looking at it yet, throwing it onto a PowerPoint for this presentation here, and we're going to react to it live. I hope you guys are doing great on a Tuesday night. Shout out to Big Cuz 410 for coming in. Tanja, as always. Jordan Weller. Um, yeah, man, let's do it. I do know from seeing some stuff on Twitter that Bo Braid, the undrafted free agent rookie out of Maryland, did indeed make the roster. He was a long shot. Initially undrafted guy. He had another safety that was drafted before him. Obviously, the Ravens had him higher on the draft board, and they both made the roster. So let's do it, man. Licking my chops. Football is back, baby. Get the wings and brews ready. What are we, 9 days away from the kickoff against the Kansas City Chiefs? Frank, Camru, Carla, thanks to everyone for coming out tonight. We are literally going to react to this roster right now because, like I said, I had not seen it. So let's pull it up. Let's see. All right. Shocking news. MVP, two-time MVP quarterback Lamar Jackson, who led the Ravens to the AFC Championship last year, has made the 53-man roster. Big shocker. We got quarterback Josh Johnson. No surprise here. Didn't think Emory Jones or Devin Leary were going to make the roster based off their preseason performances and what we saw at a camp. So no major surprises so far at quarterback. Running back, let's look. Derrick Henry, big shocker. Didn't quite think he'd make the roster. I know he had some big seasons before, but didn't quite think he'd make it this. No, I'm just joking. Derrick Henry, the absolute stud. Rasheen Ali, he's dealt with a little bit of injuries, nicks up here and there, but he's on the roster. Patrick Ricard, the fullback, and Justice Hill. So the Ravens go 3 running backs, 1 fullback. Owen Wright might have made the roster had he not broke his foot, but that's the reality of the situation. And Rasheen Ali slides in, takes that RB3 role. By the way, there's a lot of guys being released right now, quality starting running backs, guys like Deontay Foreman, Matt Breida, special teams guys as well. There's a lot of running backs being released right now from these cut downs because of the very large amount of talent at the position. Troy Green says Rasheen Ali made it because Owen Wright went down. It's possible, but Rasheen Ali was a draft pick, talented guy that the Ravens obviously liked, and he's got some special teams value. All right, let's go on to receiver. Oh, okay. So first surprise here. Like I said, this is a live reaction. Deontay Hardy makes the roster over Dayton Wade, man. I'm not going to lie and tell you guys I'm not a little bit disappointed with that. I wanted Dayton Wade on the roster very bad. I know he'll probably make it through on the practice squad, and the Ravens are going to want to keep him around. But dude led the Ravens in receiving in 2 of the preseason games, made a ton of plays in camp and OTAs. I really liked him as a talent coming out of college out of Ole Miss, guy with speed and hands. Cicada Mouthwash says, what are your opinions on the Ravens only having 2 quarterbacks? I think, I don't know, man, because the Browns, they kept 4. I know they're probably going to trade one. Most teams keep 2 or 3. I'm not super concerned about it. Obviously, if the Ravens, one of these quarterbacks, were to deal with any type of injury, they would call up a guy on the practice squad. They're going to keep Emory or Devin Leary on the practice squad. And there's also, that's another position. There's a lot of guys available. Mike White, Bailey Zappi, Tyler Huntley or Jameis Winston, both available via trade. There's a lot of guys at the backup quarterback position. Ryan Tannehill. A lot of guys are available right now. Antonio Taylor says we wasted a 6-round pick on Leary. I don't want to say that because he might make the practice squad and develop over a season. A lot of times we give up on quarterbacks really fast, but he's got arm talent. He needs to make better decisions with the football. We'll see. All right, so Biggest surprise so far, like I said, it's the live reaction. If you guys are tuning in, first time looking, Deontay Hardy makes it over Dayton Wade. Am I surprised? No, because Deontay Hardy was signed to be the kick return specialist, and he's a vet with some proven production on offense as well. Zay Flowers, no surprise. Bateman, no surprise. Nelly, Tylen, and Devontae. The only surprise here is that Devontae Walker didn't start it on the year on IR because I thought they were going to maybe try to stash him on the IR because he hadn't shown much in camp or preseason action. But okay, so Travis gives us an update. Says Mike White was picked up by the Bills. Good pickup for them for sure. Mike White's underrated. Antonio says I think Zappy's better than Larry. They should go after him. Very possible, man. There's some good guys out there at the backup quarterback position becoming available right now. But biggest surprise here is that Devontae Walker doesn't start the year on IR as an IR stash, and that Deontay Hardy makes it over Dayton Wade. I would have liked to see Dayton Wade personally, man, but obviously I don't get paid to make these type of decisions. Tight ends. No surprise here. The top 3 tight ends, Likely, Kohler, Mark. We knew that was penciled in. That was written in stone, man, from the very beginning. Nobody else really had a chance to make the roster. Kadir Ismail, I'm sure he'll get actually probably signed to the practice squad as a tight end guy, depth guy on the practice squad because he made some plays. And Jeff Zarebeck reported that he was the most improved player throughout camp on the entire team. Offensive line. Let's take a look here. Let's see if we can. Let's add this one. All right. Offensive line, so you guys can see it. We got Nick Samek. We got Tyler Linderbaum, Macari, Ben Cleveland, Rosengarten, Salah, Big Salah, like they like to call him, guard. He's listed as a guard / tackle. Andrew Voorhees, Josh Jones, Falele, and Stanley. No surprises here. They kept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Some teams keep 9. The Ravens want to be deeper at that position since there's some question marks specifically at the guard spots. Let me know in the chat who's going to be your top 5 starters because that's a question right now. I'm probably leaning towards Stanley, Voorhees, obviously Linderbaum, Falele, and then Rosengarten. But I wouldn't be surprised if they roll out with Patrick Macari to start the year as Rosengarten still develops, or if they go Ben Cleveland at one of the guard spots. They stashing Tez and going after a wide receiver by a weekend, calling it now. We'll see, man. It's a possibility for sure. Sherry asked, what's up with Mark? Don't have any updates on Mark yet, which is kind of a weird situation. He was told that he was quite all right, that he'd be all right after that car wreck, but actions speak louder than words, and he has not practiced one time since the car wreck. Am I panicking? No, I'm not. There's no other weird reports coming out or anything. I think maybe he's got some soreness, some neck stuff or whatever, had some whiplash. But it seems like the situation should be fine. But we also got Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kohler if Mark misses any time. So I'm not panicking there. We saw what Isaiah Likely can do. You know, he was averaging around 70 yards per game whenever Mark Andrews went out with injury, and pretty much good for a touchdown a game as well last year. So let's get on to the next position here. Defensive line. All right. No surprise. They keep 5 here. Michael Pierce, Justin Madubuike, Brody, Brent Urbans, and Travis Jones. There was no one else really that stood out in preseason that made enough noise to force themselves on the roster here. They could have went 6 on the D line. Obviously, they're much deeper on the offensive side of the football. On the O line, they kept 10. Defensive line, they kept 5 here. But obviously, some of those are the linebackers as well. Michael Pierce, Madubuike, Brody, Brent Urban, and Travis Jones. All the guys from last year that were starters are returning. So great continuity there. The defensive line is going to be good. Linebacker. One surprise here is that Josh Ross, who was a guy who made the roster last year, who was a special teamer, he did not make it, but Chris Board did and took a spot. So Chris Board makes it over Josh Ross. So we got Roquan Trenton as your 2 starters, Malik Harrison who is a mix of an inside and an outside backer. We got Chris Board, special teamer, and depth at inside. Adisa Isaac, he's healthy enough that he doesn't start on IR. That's of note. Kyle Van Noy, probably going to be your starter on the other side of Adafe Owe, of Jabo, and Tavius Robinson. No surprises here at the linebacker position. Let's look at the defensive backs. If you guys are just tuning in, this is a live reaction. This is the first time looking at it. The only surprises I got so far is that Devontae Walker wasn't an IR stash and that Dayton Wade did not make the roster over a guy like Deontay Hardy. All right. Defensive backs. Nate Wiggins. Jalen Armour Davis. Jalen Armour Davis absolutely earned his spot and possibly some good amount of playing time on defense this year. He's been very good in camp and it looks good in preseason as well. Bo Braid. Shout out to Bo Braid, man. Probably one of the bigger surprises, bigger storylines coming out of camp is that Bo Braid, undrafted free agent rookie, had an uphill battle to make the roster, as compared to a guy like Sanusi Kane. Like, it was going to be tough for Bo Braid to force himself on the roster alongside of Sanusi Kane. All right. Let's see what else we got. So we got Bo Braid, Kyle Hamilton, Brandon Stevens, TJ Tampa, Sanusi Kane, Ardarius Washington, Marcus Williams, Eddie Jackson, and Marlon Humphrey. What a loaded secondary. Just what a loaded defensive back room, man. I feel good about any of these guys coming in to play if any other guy goes down. You can't say that about most DB rooms. Like, if Nate Wiggins has to start, Jalen Armour Davis has to start, Bo Braid has to start. Like, all these guys have showed me enough, both in camp and preseason, to be comfortable with them starting. And man, the Ravens are really deep at that position. Then the specialists, of course, we got Justin Tucker, Jordan Stout, and Nick Moore. And then the IR list, we got Arthur Millette being put on the designated to return list, and then Keaton Mitchell, the pup. So Keaton Mitchell won't be eligible for the first 4 weeks, but that's no surprise because John Harbaugh already told us that he would probably be coming towards the back half of the season, specifically around the middle of the year. All right. Travis Bullock says, I like Joe Evans. Might be a practice squad guy. So, yeah, here we have it, man. This was our live reaction to the roster. I don't want to keep you guys long, but I just wanted to hop on here and react here live with you guys. The Ravens are always one of the last teams to release their roster because they want to have a competitive advantage to possibly get guys back on the practice squad. Out of the cuts that were made, who do you think is most likely to make it back on the practice squad? I'm looking at guys like Dayton Wade, who I really wanted to see make the roster. Maybe a guy like Joe Evans that Travis mentions here. Yeah, I know a lot of people wanted Dayton Wade. Devin Leary is a guy that could be on the practice squad as well. Let's take a look at a few things here. All right, guys. One sec here. Yeah. Under the radar from Jonas Schaefer here says, no IR designation for banged up running back Rasheen Ali or outside linebacker Adisa Isaac, because obviously they think, he says they may not be ready to contribute week 1, but at least the front office believes they can practice this next month. That's big. Adisa Isaac gets me really, really excited because just the little flashes that he had right there during preseason showed me enough to get me excited. Cunningham will come back. That's a good option for the practice squad as well. As always, man, if you enjoyed today's little live stream, smash the like button. It really does help out the channel. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Man, thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.